Hey everyone, it's Hayes, and in today's video we're going to be talking about Nathaniel because I am slightly suspicious of him, and no, it's not because of his dress sense for the past 5 seasons. Anyway, besties, as always, before we get into it, unfortunately there are leaks about. I haven't seen the leaks, so I have absolutely no idea if they concern Nathaniel or not. But if you have seen the leaks, please don't tell me anything, don't confirm anything, don't deny anything. I don't look at the leaks for a reason, and one of the reasons people watch me is because they also don't want to know about the leaks. So if you could keep it to yourself, that would be brilliant. So like I said, I am suspicious of Nathaniel, and I think it's clear that Lila may know his identity. So if we go back to the ruler, which I know was a while ago now, but let's just go back. So after the Yakuma attack and after Marinette and Adrian's weird scene with the perfume, Lila says, "Nathaniel Kurtzberg, what's your true face?" Which is a bit of an odd thing to say. You know, we've had other episodes so far this season where other heroes have been used. You know, for example, we had Rena Rouge and Carapace in The Illustrator, Minotaurox in El Toro de Piedra, Polymouse in Noe. You know, they've been other heroes in other episodes, and at no point has Lila been like, oh, Nino or Alia or whatever. Has she been a little bit like, what's going on here? And the fact that she names a hero by their actual name does seem quite significant to me. Now, of course, Lila doesn't come outright and say, like, Nathaniel, I know you're Capri Kid. I'm not saying she does, she obviously does not. But it does definitely seem a little bit suspicious. Now, as we all know, Lila's obvious target is Ladybug and Cat Noir's to get the Miraculous for her wish, obviously. What she wants, though, no idea. And at the minute, she seems more focused on Ladybug because she actually has a suspect of Marinette. I don't think at the minute she has any idea who might be Cat Noir, rightly or wrongly. I think she has absolutely zero idea who that could be. However, Lila isn't stupid. I think she knows having an extra Miraculous would be an advantage, even if it is as useless as the Goat. Pig Miraculous, I am sorry for everything I ever said about you. The Goat Miraculous is the real useless one, with your magic pen pouch or whatever it is you want, I don't know. And Lila has worked out it's perhaps easier that instead of having an Akuma villain defeat Ladybug and Cat Noir to get the Miraculous, it's just perhaps easier to, you know, work out their identity herself and get it, which, to be fair, is more reliable. Basically kind of what she does in the London special. She works out as Marinette. So she akumatizes herself and goes to get the Miraculous. Fair enough, if you want a job doing, do it yourself. So I do think this line from the end of the ruler hints at that. But, you know, where did this suspicion come from is the next natural question. In the episode, right as the Akuma attack is starting, a Ladybug arrives on the scene. Ladybug says, "Nathaniel Kurtzberg, if you want to help me, get somewhere safe." Which, on one hand, it could be like, look, if you want to help me, like, just stay out of the way, go somewhere safe, I don't have to save you as well, get lost, Nathaniel. Or, the other interpretation, which we all know is what she meant, is, if you want to help me, go somewhere safe to transform, and then come back and, you know, properly help me as a hero with your powers. So, in one interpretation of that line, Ladybug practically just said out loud, "Nathaniel, go transform already." And again, no, she doesn't explicitly say, "Nathaniel, could you please go and transform into Capri Kid?" Of course she doesn't, but you know, close enough without actually having to say it. Now, when you watch the ruler during the Akuma attack, it's right outside at the front of school. However, for whatever reason, Paris seems absolutely dead. I don't have a clue where anyone is. So we have the ruler, akumatized, Nathaniel, Mark, who walks off, and then Marinette, and then eventually Cat Noir also rocks up on scene. No one else actually seems to be around. However, as we know this season, Lila seems to be hiding everywhere, she has spies everywhere, so she may have in fact have been in the scene and we just didn't see it. As the creator keeps saying, Lila is everywhere, whether it's in her form or someone else's form, and if indeed Agley really is Lila, perhaps, you know, she was watching out of a school window, saw Nathaniel run into the school, and then, you know, 30 seconds later saw Capri Kid run out. We don't know for sure, because we don't see everything. We're often getting to see stuff in different episodes because things are out of order, or in flashbacks and stuff. So I definitely do think it could be a possibility, just because we haven't seen it yet. So, assuming Lila does indeed know Nathaniel is Capri Kid, and I'm saying this without knowing where the ruler falls in the episode chronology so far, why hasn't Lila gone after him? As far as we're aware, Nathaniel still has his Miraculous. Like, even if Lila isn't certain, she's just suspicious, like, you'd still go, you'd still go after her. Like Lila was going after Marinette in Van Bigami. She wasn't 100% certain, but she had a fairly good idea, so she was like, I'm gonna try it out. She's got nothing to lose by going for Nathaniel, so why hasn't she gone for him? So is it possible instead that Lila could try and get Nathaniel to work with her? As we saw in season 5, they did sit together at the back as class, and as far as we know, they didn't talk to each other. They weren't friends, as far as we're aware. You didn't see Nathaniel run up and, like, try and defend Lila in confrontation, you know what I mean? Just like, no, she's my friend, don't do this to her. As far as we're aware, Nathaniel was just sat with her in class and there was nothing more between them. However, as we've seen this season, they are kind of, like, going back and adding things in and referencing things from past seasons that we didn't know happened at the time. So, for example, in Yaksai Gozen, right at the start, we see, like, a little flashback to confirmation of Tomoe on the phone to Gabriel. And that information we didn't have during season 5, we've only found it out this season. So they're adding in things we weren't aware of, so they could very easily add in a Lila and Nathaniel friendship that we weren't aware of in previous seasons. So I'm thinking Lila could use that friendship and get Nathaniel to help her and give her information on Ladybug and Cat Noir. Ultimately though, Nathaniel will be a bit useless since he doesn't know their identities, but you know, if Marinette, who started to like telling people who she is, one day confides in him, that would be very, very helpful. Of course, so that naturally asks the question, why on earth would Nathaniel do that? As we know, Lila is very manipulative. She could try that again. Maybe Nathaniel would believe her, maybe not after confrontation. A bit unsure. So perhaps he won't believe her. But again, if they've been friends, perhaps Lila has something on Nathaniel. That could, you know, she could basically blackmail him into doing this. What is this thing? I don't know, unsure. Like I said, they are going back and adding in things that we don't know about, so it's kind of hard to say, but either way it would force Nathaniel to do this. So what information would Nathaniel give? Again, I would be unsure since he isn't aware of Ladybug and Cat Noir's identities. Perhaps he could give out other identities like Mark's, but him and Mark are in a relationship, so would he do that to Mark? I'd hope not, but you know, it's Nathaniel. Who knows? He could be a bit like Sabrina though, he's a bit of a double agent, like Sabrina was in Confrontation, where he could pretend to be working with Chrissy Pop, but actually he's actually going to help Ladybug and Cat Noir in the long run and divulge to them what he knows about Chrissy Pop rather than actually tell Lila the truth. The only way I could see Nathaniel working with her willingly is if Nathaniel is threatened by Lila and like she has credible information against him, but again I think they would probably do a Sabrina and come clean. But will it be too late by the time he does that? I don't know, this season's full of drama, so I kind of hope it would be too late, but only from like a drama creating standpoint. But anyway besties, that's just what I think. I'd love to know what you all think, and I will see you in the next one.